Hey everybody, how are you doing? I thought I would just do kind of the final video just to wrap up the NHS fundraiser marathon distance that I did yesterday at the time of recording this. So I did a quick kind of snapshot video, a vlog, which was a shorter version obviously than the 10-hour live stream that I carried out. It was my first live stream that I had done, and I didn't really know what to expect from it. How did it all come about, first of all? So I'd watched last week Mark's video, Running with Mark. I'll put a link to his channel down below. He did a marathon on his balcony, and I was really, really impressed by it. And it kind of got me thinking about what I could do. I did a few little test runs in my living room, and I was having some real difficulty tracking the distance on my watch. Just because of where I live, and it just didn't seem to work very well. And when I uploaded it to Strava after a couple of test runs, had kind of this spiderweb effect everywhere, and it clearly wasn't picking up the signal. So I had to do a little bit of mathematics and figure out how many laps I needed to do up and down the living room, and a bit of a manual setup to make sure that I was covering the distance. So I sat down, I worked that out, and this was on Sunday. And on Sunday, I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this for a reason, for a purpose. And I'd watched the news, and they had reported that NHS workers were spending up to 36 hours on their feet without a break. And I just started to kind of really think about how much that was hitting home to me. And then I thought, what I'll do, let me go on Just Giving and see what the situation is. When I'm Just Giving, set up a page, and I decided if I'm going to do this, it's going to be for that reason and to raise money, with no expectations here. I put a expected total of 500 because it kind of goes in increments, and it made sense to me to just leave it at that. And so I sat down the night before, I worked out how many laps I needed to do, I worked out what they might look like, and woke up the next day ready to go. Now, one thing to say is I didn't actually intend to run much of it. I was just planning to kind of walk and jog and just noodle around and just get to the distance at whatever time it took to get there. There was never an intended finish time. I'm aware that I could have run from the start and it would have been a shorter time, but that wasn't really the point of it. It wasn't about me going out there to race a distance to get a PR or any of that stuff. If I'd wanted to do that, then I would have found somewhere perhaps locally to run in circles around a park. But again, this philosophy of using one exercise a day to go out and do 20 miles plus, I'm just not on board with. But that's me, and that's for a different video altogether. So I wanted to promote the idea of staying at home, keeping healthy and exercising well, and obviously doing it within your means. And so I worked out how far it was going to be, I worked out how many laps it was going to be, woke up the next day, got dressed, got ready. I must admit, I didn't actually prepare myself fully for it in terms of, for a marathon, I might maybe apply some blister plasters, even though I've been absolutely fine, and just kind of chafing things that you would normally do for a marathon. Because I wasn't intended to ever really run it, I didn't prepare myself for that element of it. Anyway, started off, got the live stream going, had no fewer than 4 people all day tuned in, which is absolutely incredible, and I really appreciate all the views. Loads of comments, had a nice international community taking part. It was great. It was really, really great. It really kept me going. And I did stop. I stopped to read a lot of comments. I danced around. I had 2 bathroom breaks. I got some food. So it wasn't something that was ever set up to being incredibly serious and that it was against the clock. I was tracking on my watch. My watch at some points was accurate, and then towards the end, it started to show me being about 5 or 6k further along than I knew I probably was based on tracking. Now, the only slight difference there would be that I planned to be going exactly up and down in a straight fashion, whereas what I then started to do was go kind of round and round in a loop. So yes, I probably did do more on the marathon distance, but certainly not 5 to 7k more, I don't think. I mean, that seems quite unlikely. However, that's the situation. So in terms of Strava, and you can have a look on Strava, I will just talk you through very, very briefly. I won't put the stats on the screen. It's really not important, but here we go. So Up until 30k, my splits alternated where I was walking and running. So it was basically like 25-minute kilometers followed by like 7 or 8-minute kilometers, 25, 7 or 8. So you can see how the time really started to whiz on by. However, from about 30 kilometers onwards, it starts to go 7:22, 7:22, 10, 12, 7, 7, 8, 7, 6, 8, 7. It's not exactly per minute there, but you get the idea that I was averaging around 7 minutes per kilometre, 7 minutes and 30 per kilometre from 30 kilometres up until what says on here 49.50, but that's by the by. Essentially, if it were to be tracking my kilometres correctly, it would appear that after 30 kilometres I was pretty consistent with my pacing, but you know, it is what it is. If you're watching, there was that really exciting moment at the end where I started to realise that I could possibly finish in under 10 hours. The live stream I started a minute before I began, so I was actually tracking at my watch and I knew that I had about a minute to go, and we were given this countdown, and I'm not even sure at this point whether I did drop a lap or two during that counting, possibly, and actually even during the day I was tapping every time I walked past on this app called Counter. But, you know, it may well have been that I did drop a couple, in which case, yeah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter at all. Although it was exciting, and I stopped my watch, and it was 10 hours and 2 seconds. We like a bit of excitement, don't we? So that's basically where we're at. Now, I woke up this morning up to £330 raised by people. Family members have contributed. People that have subscribed to the channel have contributed. People that I've not spoken to for years have contributed. People that I don't know have contributed. And it's all to go towards local NHS servicemen and women who are doing the most incredible things right now. And actually, I was on my feet for 10 hours. That's just a drop in the ocean for how long they are spending on their feet continuously, day after day after day. So I woke up this morning. My girlfriend is doing Couch 5k, so she did her second session this morning and I accompanied her, and if you're familiar with it, it's a little bit of a walking, jogging, so that felt really quite comfortable for me. I didn't sleep so great, but it tends to be the case after marathons. My head's kind of racing, I'm still fueled by the adrenaline, and so yeah, I had a bit of a rough night's sleep, but it's okay. Over the next couple of days I'm going to be obviously catching back up with that, making sure that I hydrate well today. Had a recovery mixed smoothie yesterday using some tailwind, some berries, and all the good stuff that I always typically use anyway, and a Spring Energy McRae recovery gel, and also had a plant protein kind of chocolate milkshake, only because that's got 20 grams of protein. It's a bit sugary, not so great for you, but just in terms of getting the protein back in for muscle repair. And today I will eat well. I have been out this morning. I just popped to the shop before anybody else was there, so I went in there, got my pick of the veggies, so I can just eat healthy, eat well, be smart with my recovery. And yeah, because it has been a while obviously since I've done a marathon distance. In fact, it wasn't since last summer in August that I even got close to that distance. Otherwise it's been about 20 miles as the max. So as you know, I was training for my ultra, and it's quite amazing really, because when I reflect on it, I never expected that I'd be able to spend 10 hours on my feet, regardless of whether that was walking, jogging, whatever it might be. Yesterday just gave me this incredible boost that if only my ultra race was going ahead in a few weeks' time, I think I'd walk into that race so comfortable with my ability. And given that my training has not been that successful, I've done lots of great long runs, slow long runs, but I've done no speed work whatsoever. I have been really methodical in my training. I have been much slower. I've worked to my means. I haven't been out as much as I should have done, but equally I've done enough. It's just been great. I think yesterday for me proved that it's that kind of mentality of positivity and mind over matter which can get you to the finish. And yeah, thank you so much for everybody who took part, and thank you so much for people that shared and really made an effort to make this moment even more special than it already is. So thanks again, and I will see you soon. Anything you'd like to know that I might have missed out, please comment down below and I will respond to you. Bye.